Jack Daniel's is one of the most famous American brand names in the world. What's lesser known is that Jack's teacher and first master distiller was a black man, born into slavery, named Nathan Greene, or Uncle Nearest. Author Fawn Weaver not only brought the true story of his accomplishments to light, but started her own whiskey company to honor his legacy.
I chose to build a company that I want to ensure is still growing 200 years from now. I made a commitment to Nearest's family when I began on this journey. I said, by the time I die, the name Nearest Greene will be known around the world. I learned of the story. It was on the cover of the New York Times International Edition. And you see the most famous white man, I think, known around the world, Jack Daniel, on a photo, and to his right is an African-American man. And we date that photo somewhere around 1904. And the headline said, Jack Daniel embraces a hidden ingredient help from a slave. That story just called to me. And I moved to Lynchburg, Tennessee. I only came originally for 4 days to interview one specific person and then to see what else I could find. But one person led to the next, that led to the next, that led to the next. And so I went from 4 days in Lynchburg to essentially never moving back to LA. We pulled documents and artifacts and we brought them all to the home where Jack Daniel grew up, where the distillery, where Nearest Greene was the head distiller, where that distillery sat. We purchased that 313 acres and all the buildings on it. And that's where I brought all the research back to. The local archivist, she calls me to her office one day and she shows me these 3 different documents. And as I read them, I looked at her, I said, "What are you telling me?" And she said, "Jack Daniel Distillery did not start where we thought it started. It began on your property." The distillery number at that farm was distillery number 7. That meant that he was not just Jack's teacher. That meant that Nearest was Jack's first master distiller. This isn't the story you're expecting. Unfortunately, it's the only one we know of. And that is where the true disappointment comes in, because you know that there were other African Americans at the start and they're at the beginning of so many brands. And whether or not we'll ever know, I don't know. I think people supporting Black-owned businesses and all of a sudden waking up and realizing we have some incredible things, incredible products. If you take Uncle Nearest, for instance, it's the fastest growing independent American whiskey brand in U.S. history. There are African American brands putting out really quality products, but most of the time they don't have the visibility of an Uncle Nearest. So if all of us combined goes and supports those African American businesses, imagine how they're able to rise, and we will begin to see business ownership for African Americans in line with our percentage in this country. And we're not there yet, not even close.